When I first started an online business, there's one big mistake that I made that prevented me from making any sales at all. But the second that I solved it, I was able to land clients, land sales, and do the things in business that we actually want to fucking do. So I'll be breaking down exactly how you cannot make this mistake and give you an actual system to make sure that people keep buying your shit. So I realized I was making this mistake when I was running one of my old businesses. So I was having a conversation with a customer and he was asking me, why should I buy your product? And of course I couldn't explain why he should buy it because I didn't know what I was doing. But after speaking to him, I said, oh, your pet will be more healthy and it won't get all these illnesses because the food is healthier. This customer went, oh, that makes sense. That's actually a good reason to buy it. I'll definitely purchase. After that conversation, I was like, oh shit, there's something here. The reason why this person bought is because he knew exactly what the key benefit was from my product or service. In the online space, this is typically called an offer. And because I didn't have an offer, oh my God, I made no money. And what's funny is if you go online, you'll see every single established business person has a very clear offer and is really explaining well what the exact benefit that you get from going through their product or service. But as beginners, it's still really difficult to understand how we can use it in our business. Now, to explain this, I'm gonna come with one of the wackiest examples ever, okay? Just rock with me, stay with me here, okay? Let's say you were talking to one of your friends, right? Talking to one of your friends and he got no girl. I came up to your friend who got no girls and I was like, bro, work with me. I'll help you get a girlfriend. But if I came to your incel friend and I said, bro, work with me. I'm gonna ensure you 5 dates in 90 days and you'll get a ton of numbers and you'll gain confidence with women. Guaranteed. And if you don't, I'll give you a full refund. Now, that person will go, really? You think you can do that for me? And the reason why, fucking hell, is because the benefit is so clear. They know exactly what they're gonna get in the given time frame, and if they don't get the thing that they want, they get their money back. And what's funny is you can even apply this to dating. When I was dating a lot and I was on dating apps, when I would speak to a woman, I would literally say to them, I should take you out for dinner and a good time. They know exactly what they're gonna get when they go out with me. So as a result, I was just printing dates. Now, the reason why I use such a ridiculous example like that is because it's not actually about business. What this is about is explaining exactly what people will get from your products or service. The things that we have to get right are, who are we targeting? What is the clear benefit that they'll get? What is the risk reversal that they'll get? And what is the time frame, okay? That is it. As long as you can understand that, you'll be so ahead of the curve, I promise you. So for example, if you're a personal trainer, you could have an offer, something to the effect of, I help mums over 40 lose 3 kilos in 100 days or they get a full refund. That offer is so clear. It is literally impossible. It is impossible to not understand what you're gonna get. My 89-year-old grandma in the Caribbean can understand what the benefit is, okay? So your customers can too. The reason why this is so important is that in a business sense, people only care about themselves. People only give a fuck about themselves, and rightly so. If you're going to give somebody money, you should have complete confidence and know exactly what you're going to get if you're going to part with your hard-earned cash. So as business owners, we have to explain what the benefit is. Otherwise, what the fuck are people giving us money? Otherwise, we'd be scammers. And the other thing that I've learned recently, which I'm really excited to share, is that there's 2 sides to the coin of an offer. There's 2 sides to it, right? First side is the customer side, which is the clear benefit that somebody gets from a product or service. The other side is the business side, you as a business owner. And the reason why this is important is that it controls your marketing and your sales and your fulfillment. Let me give you an example. So one offer that I was running with one of my clients, and it was the wrong offer. If your credit score is below 550, we'll increase it by 100 points or you get a full refund in 90 days, something to that effect, right? Now the offer on the customer side is really solid. Who doesn't want to get 100+ credit score increase for $40 a month? Like, it's a really solid offer. People are like, wow, this is really good. But on the business side, as business owner, owners, the offer fucking sucked. And the reason why the offer sucked for us is that we were attracting the wrong kind of client. We were attracting people who had no money. So I think the key thing is that you need to think about your customer and the kind of people you want to attract, because your offer will bring a certain kind of person in. To give a hyperbolic example, right? Let's say the offer was, we help people charter jets. That offer is not right for 99.999999999% of the planet. You need to be targeting Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, etc. So the point is that your offer will also dictate the kind of person that you work with too. And you need to get this right. Of course, it will take some time, and me, myself, I'm still learning. I fucked up the offer myself, and I didn't quite realize this, and that's why I thought it was really important to share. But when you do get the offer right, you should be blasting that motherfucker out on your landing page, in your VSL, in scripts, on Instagram, on YouTube, everywhere. You should really let it be known what your offer is, because when you get it right, customers will want to purchase it, and you'll also want to fulfill it. It's this beautiful flywheel. It's this beautiful two-sided thing that when you get right is really enjoyable. And now that you have an offer, you're now in a position to actually start reaching out to people and creating content, because you know the exact kind of person that you want to work with. If your life depended on you landing your dream client or you die, would you be able to do it? Now, me personally, a couple of months ago, I definitely would have been killed. There's no way I would have landed my dream client. But since then, I've created a system that I now use to be able to land my absolute dream clients. Even as a complete beginner, I've used this strategy to land brilliant clients and get some absolutely crazy responses to my outreach. So when I first started an online business, I joined this community of people who were all doing outreach and trying to get business together. And after being in the community for a month, it became apparent that nobody was signing any fucking clients. And the reason why is because we were all putting out low effort, shit emails that nobody wanted to read. After struggling, I thought to myself, okay, what can I do to differentiate myself from the pack? What can I do to really impress people? And I realized that the more personalized and the more effort that I put in, the more that people appreciated my emails and my messages. The strategy that I decided to adopt was creating cinematic, highly personalized videos for people that made people go, wow. And immediately I started to get crazy emails, crazy responses, and booked tons of sales calls. It was awesome. And what's nice is that this isn't actually very difficult to do, isn't time consuming, and you'll be able to implement it in your own business easily and land some fucking clients. So the first thing you need to do is hook their attention. Attention spans are very short. So you need to come with something that makes the person go down. Now, of course, this can be done in a number of ways, but all you need to do is hook their attention. But if you don't do the next step correct, I promise you, it'll be all for nothing. You need to actually be able to set things up properly. And the key to a good setup is hitting them with an offer that they actually want. So immediately in my Loom videos, I say to them, we will build you a community of 4K per month in 90 days, or you get a full refund. They know exactly what they're going to get, and they know exactly why I've messaged them. This is so important because you want the prospective client to know exactly how you want to help them. People only care about themselves. So you want people to know this person is here to help me and me exclusively, and make it all about them. Now, once you've explained how you want to help, the prospect is naturally going to have 1,000 fucking questions. They're going to be like, okay, great, but how do you do this? Why me? Why did you reach out to me? Like 1,000 things, okay? And it's your duty to answer them. Now, naturally, you might be thinking, okay, but how do I answer all these questions? I don't even know what they're thinking. Now, it's actually very simple, okay? The best way to answer the questions is to answer frequently asked questions. Now, this could be either on the sales calls that you've had. What are the things that are typically being asked? Maybe about how you work, maybe about the actual services you offer, the things that seem to come up a lot. And if you have no sales calls, which is okay, because maybe you're a beginner and we all gotta start somewhere, don't worry. You can also use ChatGPT to help you. You can ask ChatGPT, what are some common questions if I were to present this offer to somebody? Now, the key thing is you're not trying to answer all the questions they'd have, okay? You're just trying to answer the most 3 or 4 common questions that people have and make sure that those are answered. The reason why is you're not trying to give them information overload. You're just trying to make them understand how things work a little bit so you can get deeper into the sales conversation. And once you've answered their key questions, at the end of the video, you hit them with a low commitment call to action. Just respond with more info and then we can go from there. You're just trying to create a back and forth. These things take time. So if you immediately ask people to hop on a call or to give you money or to do all these things, they're not going to want to do it. The same way that if you meet a lady, you'll take her on a date and then more dates and then ask her to marry you. You're not going to meet someone and say, please marry you. They're probably going to get put in jail and a restraining order. And the last key thing to remember is to personalize the loom wherever you can. If you can add the fact that they're doing this in their business, if you can add the fact that you've noticed this very specific thing, people really appreciate effort in detail. If you notice something that you think will be cool to add it in. It will never go unnoticed. And the thing that I've noticed in the email response that I've received is that people are absolutely blown away by the amount of effort and amount of detail that I'm going into their business. People just think, fucking hell, this guy's actually taking his time. Thank you for that. And once you've got that all collected and done properly, you're now ready to send your loom. But you can't send a loom if you don't have your email script correct. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're a beginner and you want to make money online and not have a job again, then watch this video. The single biggest hurdle that people face when they start an online business is getting people to buy their services. And I know this because I've experienced this shit. So this entire video is breaking down exactly how you can get people to buy your shit. Now, before we get into this, I want to make one thing very clear. There are people who have made more money on the internet than me and have far more experience than I do. I think it's very important to address that. However, I have been able to go from a complete beginner to landing clients with massive platforms with the strategy that I'll share in this video. So the first important thing that you need to understand is that in any business, especially online business, okay, there's only 3 ways to sustainably get customers or clients, all right? And that is paid ads, organic content, and outreach. That is it. And if you're new in a B2B business, then you have to learn outreach. The reason why is that paid ads, you're not going to be able to profitably run paid ads because firstly, it takes a ton of money. And secondly, you need to have the case studies and all the proof to show that you are who you are. And if you're a beginner, you ain't. Organic content is very important. However, the amount of inbound leads you'll get, the amount of people that you'll get coming to you will be damn near 0. So outreach is the cheapest and most efficient way to get people to actually buy your services. Now with outreach, there's 1,000 fucking ways to do it. People will be doing DMing, people will be doing cold calling, there's all this different shit. But me personally, I love email. And that's because everybody reads their emails. It's very easy to scale email. You just buy more email domains and you're able to send even more emails. And what's nice is that's beginner friendly. If you don't have a big social media following, if you're not that confident at cold calling, you can learn email and get quite good at it quickly. So the first thing we have to do is set up our email properly for success, okay? And I'm gonna explain exactly how to do this step by step. Don't you worry, I got you, nigga. You are a business owner, so you need a business email. If you send emails from the email address that you created when you're in high school, I hope you make no money. I hope you stay broke, nigga. So you need to buy a new email. The way you do that is you go onto GoDaddy. It's literally simple as this. You go onto GoDaddy and you buy a domain of a website. Keep it cheap. Don't buy some super expensive domain as long as it's similar to your business name and it's an actual bought address. So now you've bought some email domains, which was really quick, right? Then what you need to do is you need to warm up the emails. And the reason why we warm up emails is that they don't land in spam, okay? It's really as simple as that. Now, this process can be quite complicated. So what I literally do, I literally go onto Fiverr and I pay a dude from Pakistan called Faraz. No racism, this nigga's name is Faraz Hassan. Shout out to Faraz. And I say to him, Faraz, these are my email domains, please warm them up. If you go onto Fiverr, there's a bunch of people, who are email experts, and they'll be able to warm up your emails for you. So when you do outreach to people, you'll make sure that you're landing in the right place. So now you're making awesome headway. You've bought your email domains, and you've also set up your email to be warmed up properly. It's really not that difficult. It sounds complicated, right? It sounds difficult. You're like, oh my God. Remember the first time I did it, I was like, oh my God, I'm so confused. I don't know what's going on. And then I actually did the process, and now I can do it. Now I can do it literally drunk. So yeah, you got this, okay? The next thing we're going to do is set up our email for success, okay? Because all these steps will increase our conversion rate. What we're trying to do is get our conversion rate as high as possible. So the way that we do that is by looking like an actual human. So what we can do is add a professional looking footer that can have our social media links, our website, booking a call, and our face, okay? Because people online, is a scammer, is this a real human being? So you want to add a photo in your footer. You want to add a photo in your email, in your actual email display, because you want people to know that you're an actual human being, okay? That's very important. So before we even start sending emails, I need you to understand these 3 things that are really, really important when sending emails, okay? And that is attention, frame, and call to action. I'm gonna explain all of them, okay? Now, attention is what it says on the tin, grabbing somebody's attention. That is so important. Frame. Now, frame is getting someone in the correct frame of mind to even think about purchasing your product or service, okay? Now, to give an example, if you sent an email to someone and you said, your Instagram account has been leaked on a porn site and you're gonna get hacked, you would get their attention. I am positive you get their attention. But then if in the email you were like, oh, that's a joke, just trying to sell you my service, the frame is all wrong. Not only is the frame wrong, they probably tell you to fuck off and might report you to the police. I actually received an email like that, no bullshit. So you need to grab their attention, but you need to do it in an appropriate manner and actually keep the frame correct. So those are really important things to do. And the last thing is the call to action. We're not sending emails for fun. We're sending emails because we want to book a call or go to the next step of the funnel, whatever it may be. But at the end of your email, it's very important to have one clear call to action. One, my nigga, one. Okay, cool. So if we look at this email here, you'll see a couple of things. The first thing is that the email is extremely short. So for me, I actually try to keep my emails below 50 words. People are busy and they're thinking, why the fuck is this person emailing me? So you want to keep things short and sweet in the first place, okay? The next thing to remember is keep the email about the customer or client. Keep it about them, how you are going to help them. Don't send an email saying, we've done this and we do this. Explain, this is how we think we could help you. This is something that we'd really like to do for you, because people only care about themselves, and rightly so. So in this email, you'll see I've said something to the effect of, we really wanted to impress you. So we went the extra mile, and created a personalized video for you. You'll see a lot of yous in there, you. Make it about them, okay? Give them some dopamine. Make them feel like you've taken the time and the effort, because that's really important. And at the bottom of the email, you'll see that there's a clear CTA. If you're not completely against learning more, just respond more info. The reason why I don't say, let's hop on a call, is because I've literally just emailed them for the first time. No one, unless I am Warren Buffett, is going to be trying to hop on a call with me immediately. With email, all I'm trying to do is start a conversation. It's the same thing as dating, bro. If you hop into a dating app, all you're trying to do is just get a nice conversation going. Or if you see a beautiful girl on the street, you want to just strike up a conversation. Then you can say, hey, I think I should take you out sometime. And she'll say, okay, because you had a nice conversation. Have a conversation first, then hop on a call and book the sales there. Now, our first email is looking sexy. You can see that our attention is good. We've grabbed their attention with a nice subject line. You can see the frame is correct. They know exactly how we want to help, and we've made it about them. And we've got a clear call to action that even my grandma can understand. So the email looks good, but a lot of the people they reach out to will not respond on the first email. And it's not because you're ugly in your photo. Maybe you are ugly, I don't fucking know. But it's not because you're ugly, but it's because people are busy, okay? So it's completely understandable, and you need to understand that 99.9999999% word to Hitler is, fucking hell, is in the follow-up. You need to follow up. If you don't follow up, you're just igniting money, okay? There's another very important principle I need you to understand, okay? And I personally use this to actually book sales calls and get really crazy responses from my emails, okay? And that is novelty and effort. Now, let's actually think about this, okay? If you are a business owner and you have 100 people sending you these annoying spammy messages of, oh, let me do this for you, let me do this for you, no effort, you're gonna be fucking annoyed, okay? And you need to understand this from people's perspectives. So what people are always looking for is something new and a bit of effort. Effort is always sexy. I always go the extra mile to show that I've done the research and I actually, understand you as a person, okay? And I really believe that putting the effort in and just making it a bit more personalized will give you outsized returns and really improve your conversion rate. Even some of the responses that I've got from people has been absolutely absurd. People have been like, oh my God, this is the best outreach I've ever seen. And that's not because I'm a genius, but it's because I just go that extra mile. You need to try and go that extra mile to separate yourself from everybody else. Once we've sent our first initial email, of course, we're now in the process of following up, which is another reason why sending emails is so brilliant, because it's far easier to follow up in email than it is on DMs, DMing someone 10 times and spamming them. And when you're following up, let me take a breath here. The key thing with follow-up is to send follow-ups that have actually gone through effort. Send effort in your follow-up. Put effort in your follow-up. If you don't put any effort in your follow-up, you'll feel shit because you'll feel like you're spamming them and people will get annoyed, okay? The reason why you don't want to follow up is because you feel like a spammer. You feel like a scammer. You feel spammy. And the reason why is because your emails suck. Your grandma don't want to read your emails. Your girlfriend don't want to read your emails. So why would a random business owner want to read your emails, okay? So you've got to put the fucking effort in. Now, the way that I put effort in is by using humor. I always try and sprinkle in some humor and a bit of fun into my follow-up sequences. So although they might not be actually reading my initial email and watching my Loom video, when they do receive my email, they get a bit of a chuckle. Before I recorded your Loom video, I had a full head of hair and now I'm bald. Watch the video because I put that much effort into it. It's silly, it's tongue in cheek. It gets people going, what? Like it's novelty and effort. And what's beautiful about following up is that there's many angles you can take to follow up. So if you have case studies, you can send case studies. You could maybe show them what their potential revenue could be. There's all these things that you could do. But the key thing to remember is that in your follow-up, you need to make it about them, okay? How you can help them. You don't speak about yourself. You only speak about how it applies to them. How you go, oh, this would work really well for you. I've actually noticed this for you. This could be something really cool. We built this for you. We did this for you. You. It's about them, okay? They're like a demanding girlfriend, okay? They're a demanding girlfriend and you're the simp, all right? You're the simp. You gotta do what you gotta do. And the next thing is that you can go through this entire sequence, okay? You can have beautifully crafted emails, have a beautiful video, put so much effort in, pour your heart into it, okay? And you can get no responses at the end of the email sequence, okay? That is very, very common. And I need you to understand that this is okay, all right? It doesn't mean that your business sucks. It doesn't mean that your offer sucks. It doesn't mean that you suck. Sometimes people just don't respond, okay? I like to use a comparison of dating apps because there's such parallels between the two. If you're on Hinge, all right? And let's assume you're not a fucking ugly person, and you're messaging women and some are responding, some are not. It's okay. Some of them are not going to respond, but some of them are going to be super excited to go on a date with you. Some of your prospects you reach out to are going to say, let's hop on a call. Others are going to tell you to eat a dick. And that, again, is okay. And if you want to make sure that people buy your shit when you get them on a sales call, I highly recommend watching this video because it breaks down how you can get people to buy every time. Frankly, I'm so tired of all the ridiculous advice online about how to do sales. Just like a lot of beginners, I was completely confused and it really made me suffer at the beginning. But now that I follow this exact blueprint and framework, I'm completely confident on sales calls and have been able to land actual big clients with the things I'll talk about in this video. All sales really is is explaining to the other person why and how you think you can help them. For example, a personal trainer doesn't actually normally have formal sales training, but they can explain exactly how they can help people because all they're doing is focusing on what they can do for the other person. We can get you on a diet plan, get you doing cardio 3 times a week, and you'll probably be able to lose about 10 kilos in 100 days or so. All you're trying to do is help the other person achieve a result. But that's great, but how do we even go about that? So when you join a sales call, the very first thing that you need to do is greet and grab. And no, I'm not talking about assaulting the person that you're trying to sell to. What I mean is of course, greet the person, make them feel good, do the little chit chat, and then grab a hold of the conversation. Because ultimately, you are here to try and help. And you need to ask questions in order to see if you can even help. So it could be something to the effect of, agenda. I was hoping to learn a bit more about your current situation, ask some questions, learn more about you as a whole. I've of course done a lot of research about what you're doing. But then once I have a deeper understanding, I can see if I can help. And if I can help, I've built a deck as to where I think you could have a really big advantage in the space. And if it's appropriate, I'd love to show you the deck. Does that make sense? Because they know the agenda, they know I'll be asking questions, and they know that I'm asking questions to see if I can help you. As I said before, sales is all about helping people achieve the results and the things that they want. Now, once you've done this, you'll have frame over the entire conversation. Prospect will normally nod, smile, and appreciate the fact that you're on top of your shit. Now, imagine you have a headache, okay? Imagine you got a bad headache and you go to the doctor's office. You walk into the doctor's office, you sit down, and the doctor looks at you and goes, penicillin, that's what you need. Gives you penicillin and says, all right, be on your way, go out. You'll walk out of that doctor's office and be like, what the fuck? You will not be happy. And the reason why is because the doctor did not listen to you at all. They didn't ask any questions. They didn't actually figure out the things that you were struggling with, what your pain points were. They just prescribed you a solution. They quite literally prescribed you a solution without listening to you. And if you don't ask questions in a sales call, that is literally what you're doing. You are a doctor giving somebody drugs without asking them what the actual problem is. You need to ask questions to see what they actually are having problems with. Now, of course, this will be contingent upon your business. And this largely explains why having sales scripts is actually a really, really bad idea. To go back to the personal trainer example, if a personal trainer used the exact same script on someone who's very muscular and someone who is morbidly obese, they are not going to have a good time, because the goals of someone who's very jacked is going to be completely different to an obese person. Why do you struggle to lose weight? What are the things that you've tried so far? But a jacked person, you're going to say, okay, how much more muscle do you want to build? As you'll see, the goals are completely different. So the questions I have to ask are completely different. Now, once you've asked a bunch of questions, you'll have a ton of information, okay? And what's great is especially on like virtual calls and even probably in person, you could take a notebook out and you can write things down. I personally do that myself. So be sure to jot things down. Now, going back to the PT example, imagine a PT asks you a bunch of questions about your body goals and the end of it said, well, sounds good, mate. Good luck with that. You'd be like, what the fuck? You'd be like, who is this nigga, bro? You'd be annoyed. Now, the reason why you ask questions is because you want to tailor your solution to their problems. That's the entire point of asking questions. And this is typically called a pitch. So now, using all the information that you've written down and the information that's in your head from the questions that you've asked the prospect, they've directly told you the things that they want to achieve and the things that they're struggling with. You're now going to use this information to explain how, from what I've heard and listening to you, I truly believe I can help. I'm positive I can help, if I'm being real. My area of expertise is in building communities for content creators that really want to maximize their audience fully. I'm explaining exactly how I can help them in a given time frame and the things that we could potentially do to get them the result they're looking for. But once you do that, you have to transition to the next step seamlessly, because if you don't, it'll be awkward. And the reason why I know this is because on one of my sales calls, I didn't do this properly and it was actually really, really awkward and I was kicking myself. So we need to get this next part correct. So once you've given the pitch, the prospect will either be jumping for joy and say, yes, let's fucking do it, or they'll naturally have some questions. Naturally answer the questions to the best of your ability. Explain the things that you can do. Explain how it will get them to the result, okay? Just remember, each answer needs to be geared toward the result. So if somebody says, oh, well, I don't know if this will work for me, I don't know if I can lose weight, you can say, I completely understand. And that's why I have this one system in that will make sure you're hitting the weight that you need to hit. So we can make sure you're getting to your dream body. You see how I'm answering the question, but then I'm also going back to the result, okay? It's all about the result. We're trying to get them the result. So we go back to the result. Now, once you've answered the questions, you can say something very simple, very slick like this. Well, if all your questions have been answered, and you feel confident about the process, the next thing you're probably wondering is the price. Now, once you explain what the price is, you simply shh. If the prospect needs some time to think about it, if they just need to sit on it, let them think. You don't need to justify your price, okay? Because you are an intelligent business owner and you figured out a price that makes sense for you and makes sense for your prospect, okay? So if they are just mulling over it, give them the time and the space that they need. Now, naturally, when you say the price, some prospects are going to come back with you with a bunch of questions. Now, all you need to do is go back to the result, answer their questions, but again, as I said before, continue to go back to the result. You're not selling the weight and the meal plan and the training. What you're selling is the dream body. Or if you have an email service, what you're selling is the fact that they're going to be able to make a bunch of money from your email marketing. Or whether it's content, you're not selling video, you're selling all the money they'll be able to make from the views that they'll be able to get from your video, okay? Go to the result. Now, the last thing I really need you to remember is, no matter what you do, there are going to be some prospects that you just can't close, okay? If you have a close rate around 40%, you're doing great, Baba, you're doing great. So don't beat yourself up if you're not able to close some sales calls. Some people just don't want to be closed, and that's genuinely okay. Remember, all you're trying to do is help people achieve a result. And maybe sometimes people aren't ready to take that leap. Maybe sometimes people don't actually want to put the work in to get the result, wherever it may be. So don't beat yourself up. You're just doing your best. And if you follow these frameworks, there's just sometimes that there's nothing you can do, really. That's just the truth. Now, once you do close that sales call, there's a bunch of things that you need to do correctly. And if you want to know exactly what you need to do correctly, then I highly recommend watching this video because it explains all the things that I do in my sales process.